Good morning, everyone. How you doing today? My name's Russell Rucker. I'm here for another constitutional talk. I'd like you to subscribe to our talks if you can, and punch the bill. Let us know you like us here. Now, the last few months, we've been talking about the rights of the accused. And today, we're going to go into the VIII Amendment and we're going to wrap up that series of amendments. But when you get into the rights of the accused, the Fourth Amendment, which we discussed, talks about what happens in an initial contact with police. About the Fourth Amendment, where you'd have to the police or FBI or whatever agency is going to have to have a warrant, unless you allowed them to enter, and the warrant would have to be specific on what was to be searched, what was to be seized, and that's really your generally your Fourth Amendment. And the Fifth Amendment has to do the right against self-incrimination. So you cannot be forced to testify against yourself in a court of law. You can't be forced to give testimony when you're stopped. You can plead the Fifth Amendment. There's a number of other things that go along with that. But as you get through the Sixth and the Seventh, you have the right to a speedy trial. You have a right to a trial by jury. You have a right to call witnesses in your own defense. Many of these things incorporate the rights of the accused. And then we talked about the presidential pardons and the chance of you receiving a pardon also as part of a fair judiciary system that we have. And that's why Article 3 was set up to begin with, to be sure that everyone's treated fairly and equally and impartially in the court of law or whenever you find yourself in trouble with the law. And these things are important because originally, when we were governed by England, it was the opposite way. You had to prove yourself innocent, not have them prove you guilty. There was no innocence until proven guilty kind of thing. Although that phrase does not anywhere appear in the Constitution, that's exactly what we're getting to. So when you get to 8, and 8 states, Amendment 8 is, excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. So what exactly do these mean? So let's break it apart a little bit and first talk about excessive bail. Well, bail cannot be so high that it's impossible for anyone to achieve it. Okay, bail has to be set at a fair amount for the crime in which was committed. Now, it is possible that you won't be allowed to have bail because if you killed somebody, for instance, or you're a danger to the community, they don't have to offer bail. But you can't set bail so high that it can't be used. Then we talk about the next section, nor excessive fines imposed. Okay, so an excessive fine is also something in which is just too high. Okay, ridiculously high. So you can't have an excessive penalties here. You can't have bail set too high, and you can't have fines so high to be to the point that they would be unfair. And then the third section has to do with a cruel and unusual punishment. You can't punish somebody for some minor offense and give them the death penalty. You can't have an excessive punishment for the crime that was committed. So when you're talking about the Eighth Amendment, excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines, nor cruel and unusual punishment. That all gets to the point of once you've been actually convicted, except for the bail. But you can't have an excessive fine or cruel and unusual punishments. That second half of that amendment is in case you were actually found guilty. The first part has to do with once you're originally arrested, after they've gone through their investigation process, which is what the Fourth Amendment had to do with, and then a bail you could have a bail hearing, and that would be set. These are all ways of trying to achieve a fair judicial system and a fair trial, which is the whole purpose of the Fourth, Fifth, Sixth, Seventh, and Eighth Amendments. It all encompasses the rights of the accused. It's different pieces of the same puzzle. Our Constitution was set up to be fair with everyone that might have a conflict. So when you have the Third Amendment and you aren't allowed to have troops in your home, the second allows you to defend yourself. The first has to do with whether you're going, if you want to achieve change, to petition the government to change, for the right to free speech and press, and all the things get about setting up a kind of country that we can live in peacefully, where everyone can live in the manner they choose to live, as so long as you don't run over the rights of someone else. And if you run over the rights of someone else, then law enforcement gets involved. And even then, you have the rights of the accused to carry forward. The ninth gets into, natural rights or natural laws, those laws given by God. Now, all these, everything in the Bill of Rights is designed for a fair court system, a fair trial, a fair way of living. We all want to live lives the way we want to live them, free of government interference. And that's really what we're talking about here. I hope that gives you a better idea of the Eighth Amendment and the overall as we close out the rights of the accused. I hope that gives you a fair understanding where we're at. So have a good day, and we'll catch you again on the next Constitutional Talk. Bye, all.